Hi, I'm Ellen McCauley. I'm at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. And I mentioned how one person asked me to talk about being genetically predisposed to being overweight, and another person said the depression drives them to the food. And guess what? I can relate to both those topics because everyone in my family is overweight. Everyone. And if they weren't, they've got to be overweight. And depression runs in my family too. I mean, the family phrase is can't never be happy. You can't never be happy because that other shoe's gonna fall. Oh yeah, you think you're happy now? What? The phone's gonna ring. I sit there, what's gonna happen? Oh my gosh. You know, the other day, I'm like, okay, things are going pretty good. And then I open the mail and I get a letter from Excellus Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Oh, your identity's been compromised, but we'd be happy to give you 2 years of free identity theft protection. And then I get an email from one of my college friends. Oh, my Facebook was hacked, and when your friend requested me, it wasn't really me, and I hope you don't have a virus. And I'm thinking, virus, identity theft? I mean, we could drive ourselves to depression, couldn't we? Just thinking about all these things. The statistics regarding obesity in America are alarming. Is anyone surprised by that? What? Americans are fat? You're kidding me. Currently, 35% of American adults are obese. Now, I don't mean overweight. I mean obese. Obese is a body mass index of greater than 36. Do I have any nurses here? It means you're obese. Like right now, I'm just thankful that I'm overweight. Yes. They're not even talking about the overweight people. That number is projected to rise over 50% in most states by 2030. That means 1 out of 2 people are going to be obese. Not fat, not chunky, not overweight, obese. And what this article is saying is that diets don't work because what we really need to look at is the psychological piece to the puzzle. And that's what we talk about here at Pray It Off. We all know apple cookie, I want the cookie. We all know. Move, not move. But the psychological piece. Now they talk about meeting this girl Sarah, and she's desperate to lose weight and very depressed. What comes first? Are you depressed? Then you're overweight, or are you overweight and then you're depressed about it? I know many antidepressants cause you to what? Gain weight. So this person, Sarah, was depressed, and this doctor said, or this LMHC said, that she wanted to work on her depression first and teach her to accept and love herself unconditionally. And the therapists use a hypothesis, which I have copied down in my day timer, called the Rogerian hypothesis, which states that people tend to move in a positive direction when given unconditional love and acceptance. Jesus doesn't say to us, when you're at your goal weight, give me a jingling, because I'll love you then. He loves us now. Unconditional love and acceptance. So, the therapist is teaching Sarah to accept herself, to love herself unconditionally, because so many places they try to shame or scare you. I mean, I could see it up here every week and go, don't you guys know you could get adult onset diabetes? You could drop dead from a heart attack. Ah! We all know that. See, doesn't it sound scary and alarming? We want to say we're struggling. The worst thing you can do is give someone more anxiety and depression regarding their weight. We have a lot of laughs here. We have community here. We share these same issues. I mean, when has it ever happened to anyone that your mother, your friend said, did you know you had some weight to lose? And you said, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Thank you for calling that to my attention. I'm going to join a weight loss group right now. We all know. And I love this, they talk about a very successful diet that's been around for thousands of years. It's called moving more and eating less. Very successful. Been around forever. There's no pills involved, nothing. what we really need to do is stop feeling so anxious and depressed about it. You know, so many people say to me, I go, how are you? They go, let me weigh in, then I'll tell you how I am. Is our mood directly proportional to the number on our scale?
Yes.
And it shouldn't be. It should not be. It shouldn't be. Because we are more than our weight. We are more. We are our spirit. We are our soul. My weight never defined who I was as a person. Do you think I'm a kinder, loving, more funny, more outgoing person now? I'm healthier, but I'm pretty much the same. My faith is stronger. I try not to sin as much. I try to be more loving. But if we have our whole lives think it's going to be better if we're thinner, then once you get thinner, you're like, what? Brad Pitt's not calling? He hasn't left Angelina for me? People go, why do you always use him as an example? I could use anybody for an example, but he's a good one. Obesity and genetics. Genetics is not responsible for the obesity epidemic. Maybe 1% to 5% might be genetics, but the 95% is bad habits. Now, it's really happened since the 1960s because lifestyles changed. People started working in offices, they stopped doing manual labor, they started eating processed foods. We ate processed cheese, we had processed peanut butter. We didn't have a lot of money, so what did we eat? A lot of macaroni, spaghetti. So those are comfort foods. Who here thinks macaroni and cheese is a comfort food? Oh, it is. And you might say, well, Ellen, I can make a really low-calorie macaroni and cheese. But that's not the point. The point is it's not genetics. I like ice cream, so does my family. We would have the Mr. Soft. We didn't go on vacation, but we would buy hot fudge sundaes when Mr. Softy came around. We knew his music. We were all waddling out there to get the ice cream. That's what we did. I know it's true. It's what we did. Now, when confronted with these facts, we have similar habits. So what are we going to do? Does obesity cause depression? Does genetics cause depression? Life can be really depressing. You get the letters in the mail, you get the issues. We have to rise above it and say, one day we will be dead, and there's something else, and this is the crisis du jour. I've had similar crises. I've survived. We have to turn to God. And I like this. Half of Americans will suffer from some sort of mental illness. Half. So right now, I'd like everyone who has mental illness in this room to raise your hand. I mean, I think we all, I think everyone's cray-cray. Everyone's crazy in some way. Everyone's either crazy, depressed, has OCD, is bipolar, has something. And those of you who don't, see me after and I'll tell you how crazy you are. Because I know what's crazy about you. But the whole point is, life can turn us into stressed out, depressed, cookie-eating monsters, or we can say, you know, thank God. One of my favorite things is the law of diffusion. Something's bothering me, I tell Bob, I cut it in half, I tell my mom, I cut it in thirds, I tell my sister, I cut it in quarters. All of a sudden it's gone because they're all saying, oh, you are so right, Ellen, I got your back. Don't tell someone who's not going to take your side. You only want to tell people who are going to take your side. If no one will take your side, call me because I got your back. Also, depression and bipolar depression slows down your metabolism. It depletes your willpower. It makes you crave high-fat foods and sugar. We need to learn how to deal with our unpleasant moods other than eating. It certainly doesn't work. It only makes us fat. We need to deal with life with God, not donuts. Talk therapy is big. That's why I really believe in the small group discussion. Exercise. We need less stress in our lives and more sleep. I said to Bob, someone will either steal our identity or they won't. I suggest they steal someone's identity with more money than us. Because they're going to be a little surprised. They're going to go, wow, I went through all that trouble to steal their identity? I'm going on to somebody else. Also, when we're stressed, our brain releases a hormone called cortisol, and it sends a signal to our brain to store fat rather than burn it. We could be eating all the right things. We're so stressed out, our body's going. Because over time, throughout 99.9% of history, the number one things our body was worried about was dying from starvation. We're not worried about dying from starvation. But our body, when we're stressed, thinks, uh-oh, poor Ellen's going to starve. And I'm sitting there going, wait, I'm trying to lose weight. It's holding on to the fat, thinking I'm starving. So we need to let that go. Also, I wanted to talk about meditation, the prayer room, feeling bad about the way you look and putting lots of pressure on yourself to lose weight is not going to work. If you truly want to lose weight and keep it off, you need to work on your emotional health first. Now, there might be one, maybe two people in this room that are so cool. They're just like, I don't know why I'm overweight because I have no issues, I have no problems, I have no concerns, I sleep like a baby, I'm a wonderful person. Ellen talks about having these emotional issues, I have none. Maybe. But the rest of us are balls of stress and anxiety. We're like, what if this happens? What if that happens? We need to rely on God, work on it. Because you know what? We're crack addicts. We are crack addicts because food, fatty foods, and those things go to the same center in your brain that crack does. And what happens when you take a little crack? You want more crack. And pretty soon you're tolerant. Oh, wait. I had 3 donuts, but now I want 4 donuts. It's like you want more and more, you become tolerant to it. And then when you stop, you go through withdrawal. Ever try to quit smoking and go through that withdrawal? Ever try to quit any habit? Just like people I haven't noticed anyone trying to bite my head off yet, those people who aren't eating a lot of foods, but it does change. I'm going to stop right there, Bob.